Greetings, beloved. Hi, it's Dr. Amanda Noelle, the Twin Flame Alchemist, and Twin Flame separation symptoms suck. I can't say that with my Invisalign, but yeah, the symptoms suck, and I'm going to cover the 5 biggest ones here in this video. But I wanted to share that if you're going through a twin flame separation, you're feeling a little cray-cray, and the pain has gotten really bad, you can get to the other side. You will get to the other side. I have been there myself. I got to a point where things were just spinning out of control, and I started to really be like, what is wrong with me? It had such a harrowing twin flame dark night of the soul. I relate to you. I understand it. There's a way to get to the other side. I celebrate every day. I'm with my twin flame. We've been together for almost a decade. We have a child together. We've been through many, many, many initiations. And I want you to know that you can get through these, and you're meant to get through these. You have chosen these symptoms and pains so that you can transmute ancient traumas of the divine feminine and the divine feminine, divine masculine union together. And first, I want to say, what is twin flame separation sickness? I should add this. Have you ever fallen in love with a person that you just knew was your soulmate? You thought that you're maybe even twin flame, and you felt the cosmic connection from the very first moment you met was like, whew, super, super powerful. Then they leave you. You are left with such a deep, unshakable ache in your heart. You are shocked in your shakti and your chakras. And that could be the twin flame separation sickness summed up. It's not your ordinary heartbreak. This is a full-blown physical, emotional, spiritual reaction to an intense energetic connection you had with a person that you believe is your twin flame, or at least somebody representing that type of deep bond. Your heart and your soul are connected. And when the connection is taken away in the physical world, or maybe even in the spiritual realm, it feels like you can't breathe, like you're being torn apart from the inside out. I'm going to go over the 5 top symptoms, but some people report insomnia, lethargy, anxiety, depression, obsession, confusion, overuse of psychics, overuse of plant medicine, astrology, tarot card readers, feeling like you're going nuts. Maybe you're over texting, over cyber stalking. Not healthy, ladies. Put the phone down. And of course, a lot of self-hatred. Something super important to note is that twin flame separation sickness can feel nearly identical to a separation with a false twin flame. And the unknowingness of, are they the one? Are they the real deal? Of that situation can really contribute and add to the pain, the confusion. Separation sucks when you think someone's your person, right? And they've walked away from you, or maybe you've done the walking and you have this guilt and this confusion. Separation just sucks, period. When you lose a loved one, even if it's for a good reason, like the relationship has become toxic, it's the healthiest thing for you to go, to let them go. And maybe they're passing on to death or something like that, and they've made that decision. So I'm going to give you these 5 signs, and I'm going to give you some Band-Aid, no, just kidding, some soul nourishment, some inspiration so you can actually get to the other side and transmute and alchemize the pain into pleasure so you can align with your true twin flame treasure. So let's dive into the 5 signs. 1 is an intense feeling of loneliness and isolation. Now, twin flames often feel a deep sense of loneliness when they're separated, as if a part of themselves is missing, as if they're being cut off from their other half. But here's the other caveat, and the confusing thing is that loneliness is a common symptom of childhood trauma. And who didn't have something uncomfortable in their childhood? Now, traumatic experiences in our childhood can affect a child's emotional, and therefore adult when they grow up, emotional, social, and behavioral development, leading to feelings of isolation and loneliness. So ask yourself, did you have loneliness as a child? Maybe you were empathic and you didn't have the tools to fit in. Maybe that was part of the trauma. Oftentimes, parents or caretakers were supposed to give us what we needed, and they didn't. And we start to self-loathe. We're not good enough. There's a story. And so we isolate. And then we're kind of staying in that, like, I want to be loved by my parents, so I'm going to stay here, be quiet, be good, shut up. So loneliness is a common symptom of childhood trauma. And it could also be a twin flame separation is connecting to a childhood trauma. According to another study in the Journal of Traumatic Stress found that greater trauma exposure was associated with greater self-reported loneliness. Whether you went through an extreme trauma like abuse or something much smaller like feeling unseen by a parent or at school, or feeling dumber than the other kids or something like that. These traumas can lead to loneliness. And if that symptom is not treated, it can really get suppressed, and then it can blow up in the twin flame encounter or even the false twin flame encounter. There really is no difference on the energetic level, and it's important to let go and let love. But that can be really hard if we have a trauma. We can't let go of that person because there's that early childhood attachment. So I've unfortunately seen and worked with a lot of clients and just know people out there that they end up actually finally getting to the core of their sexual abuse trauma or some early childhood trauma and pain that's been festering underneath the surface for years, because they meet someone that they think is their twin flame. And then that experience, that soul connection, that bond helps them bring the love to the surface as well as the pain to the surface, so that they feel safe and loved enough to let the trauma go. And then all of a sudden they're abandoned, heartbroken, and then things are spiraling. Well, this is a wonderful opportunity. Congratulations to heal yourself and not give the power away to that person thinking, oh, they're my twin flame. This is our twin flame, our feminine, masculine, our dark and light, our pleasure and pain, our trauma and their treasure. And it's about alchemizing them together to create the synergy that we want to heal. So childhood trauma can also lead to attachment issues, making it really challenging for individuals to form healthy relationships. So trauma, loneliness, separation, attachment style, we want to heal all of this stuff. 2, physical symptoms. Twin flame separation can manifest in such weird ways physically. It can be fatigue, it can be headaches, it can be digestive issues. For me, it was severe insomnia and a lack of appetite to the point where I lost fair amount of weight and I was already quite thin. It wasn't something I intended. It could be unexplained rashes, aches, pains, dis-eases, because, right, trauma is a dis-ease, a state of dis-ease, which can then linger into the body, leak into the body. Trauma is an experience that can have lasting effects on individuals' mental and emotional well-being. This is known. There are a lot of research studies about this, where childhood traumas can create physical symptoms later in the child's life, the adult's life. Trauma can be caused by a range of events, including like little tiny things or big things like war. I went through a 7.1 earthquake back in 1989 in San Francisco. We can have a bad fall, a bone break, something like that. So when an individual experiences trauma, we might not think of it as like this massive thing, like I was assaulted, I had this horrible thing happen. It might be just like, I had a pretty good childhood, but hey, my mom went to the hospital for 2 weeks for a surgery when I was 3, and I remember crying a lot. That's trauma. So when we experience trauma, there might be a risk of re-traumatization later as an opportunity to heal, since we didn't have the tools as little ones back then. So we shut it down, and then poof, when we're adults, we're like, I don't want to look at that, but it comes out. And what was scary to a little kid might seem really scary back then, and we manifest things that scare the crap out of us as adults. And sometimes it's thinking that the one true beloved in our life, everything that we've always wanted, is somehow going to leave us. That's like the biggest pain probably of the divine feminine, is being abandoned by her other half, her mirror. So re-traumatization occurs when an individual's current experiences trigger the same feelings and memories associated with the original trauma. It's important to recognize situations that may trigger re-traumatization and identify ways to manage these experiences. Life events such as the end of a relationship or death of a loved one can re-trigger traumatization, and these significant life events can challenge feelings of safety and security, leading to experience the same feelings of fear and anxiety associated with the previous trauma. Now, this is the same with false twin flame connections and twin flame separation sickness. Re-traumatization can occur in everyday situations, such as seeing a car accident, experience a stressful situation at work. Our body, our nervous system, our energy field, our mind goes haywire. That's trauma. So to manage re-traumatization, we might want to take some steps to feel safe and in control of our emotions and life. The following are some strategies that can help with re-traumatization. The first one is to seek support from loved ones, referring to trusted friend, family member who can help you process your emotions and provide a sense of comfort during traumatic experiences. Sometimes that's tricky if you're trying to talk about like this twin flame thing and your family doesn't get it. Maybe they're a different religion or they think you're nuts. So get the support that you can get. 2, get professional help if necessary. Trauma survivors benefit from seeking professional therapy a lot of the time from a licensed counselor and therapist. And before working with me, a lot of my clients, or during working with me, a lot of my clients will work with a licensed psychotherapist so that they have their mental health in check, so that when they do the twin flame work, by that time, they're grounded, they're stable. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to call in your twin flame if you're emotionally unstable and you're dealing with basic grounding emotionally. These individuals can provide specialized care and offer tools to help individuals cope with their trauma triggers. And sometimes I see women that would really better benefit from a psychotherapist or psychologist or even psychiatrist instead of going to see a twin flame coach and mentor. But that person might, part of their mental blocks are saying that I need help. So I'd rather go to a twin flame healer who's just going to heal something outside of me. But really what would benefit them sometimes is a counselor. And I know when I went through my twin flame separation with a false twin flame, I did get psychotherapy, counseling, and I continue at times of my life when we went through premarital counseling, when I lost my father. There were some times where it's like, okay, I'm going to go back to counseling because I want to stay strong. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Both my parents are therapists. Practice self-care. Engage in activities that promote self-care, such as exercise, meditation, relaxation techniques, because stress creates trauma if it retriggers. 4 is to establish healthy boundaries. So set those clear limits that will help individuals feel like they can't just come into your space. Probably setting a boundary with your twin flame, supposed twin flame or false twin flame, whatever it is, and say, look, we're not going to be in communication. This topples me over emotionally. I need to cut things off, or I need to have a break for 3 months. That can really help to regrow. But if you're always letting that energy come in, no boundaries, then we can have that environment of anxiety, stress, fear. 5 is develop coping strategies. And we should be taught these in childhood. We should be taught these from kindergarten on. Emotional, psychic, psychological, mental, physical tools to prepare us for life, financial tools, but instead we're mainly crammed with information. Hopefully that's changing now. I know it is changing in some places of the world. But we need coping, emotional coping skills to help us deal with trauma so we can have that feeling of safety and control. So re-traumatization is common for those who experience trauma. Most of us have experienced some kind of trauma as a child, and it's important to seek support and help. All right, the 3rd symptom of twin flame separation sickness is spiritual disconnection. So twin flame separation can have that profound impact on one's spiritual connection, our self-esteem, and our trust in God, in the universe. So it can leave us feeling really like I want to give up. I don't have any hope left. I'm not happy. I don't want to be here. God doesn't love me anymore. I had all of these thoughts running in my subconscious narrative, which is super, super lame. So we want to work really, really diligently with self-talk. I love myself. I trust the universe. This is part of my path. I signed up for this. I'm ready. I've got this. I've got the support inside of myself, and I can seek and find the best resources for myself, the best team, mentors, guide, spirit guides, soul family, sisterhood, and you don't have to do it alone. It's not healthy to do it alone if you're going through twin flame separation sickness. It's important to have that extra space as the pieces are coming back together in the new configuration, the new you. So if you have chosen to go through this initiation, the process of healing and reconnecting spiritually with yourself after this bad breakup or twin flame separation, is going to be a deeply personal journey that will set you up for the next phase in your life. Take the time to do it well. Don't just hope that the symptoms go away in time and hope that the person comes back, because this is going to be the stage setter for your twin flame union, whether it's this person or someone else comes in. So don't give up. You've got this, my sisters and brothers. Emotional turmoil. Emotional turmoil. Twin flame separation can bring up a lot of unresolved emotions such as anger, sadness, anxiety. Now, love addiction is huge in the twin flame community. I have to call it out. I have to say there are a lot of twin flame mentors, gurus, coaches that will say it's your twin flame. You have all these signs, but basically it's covering up the fact that a lot of people are suffering from love addiction. And this comes from early childhood trauma, unhealthy attachment, the loneliness issue. So love addiction is a phenomenon that many people experience. It's rampant in our culture, but few know about the destructive power that it can have on our emotional well-being, our ability to bond and be intimate. When people become addicted to love, they often place their entire self-worth and happiness on the affection and attention of their so-called twin flame or their partner. This can lead to emotional turmoil when that person leaves them, cheats, or simply doesn't give them what they need. And sometimes the person might be giving them a lot, but because of an early childhood trauma, it's never enough. So they're pulling, and the relationship ends up being sabotaged. So emotional turmoil can also arise when love addicts realize that their partner is not as perfect as they once thought. They projected, oh my God, this is my person, my twin flame, everything. And they might get disillusioned or deeply hurt when they discover that their partner has flaws or engages in behaviors that they find unacceptable. For an example, a love addict may be devastated to find that their partner has left them, moved on, or maybe even cheated, and they thought this person was their twin flame, and they put everything into it, and that's not what they expected. So then they're going through like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. What did I do? I can't be happy. The universe is messed up. I don't want to be here. That is love addiction. Ultimately, love addiction and its turmoil emotionally can be incredibly difficult to deal with. I know, I've dealt with it, and it's one of the classic symptoms of a divine feminine awakening. So you can do it. It's hard to heal, but at the same time, it's really not, because we have love and we have the divine with us all the time, and we can move through it. But it does take consistent working. It's not going to go away on its own. It's often hard for love addicts to recognize that they have a problem. That's part of the problem. That's why it can be really frustrating to work with people who are love addicts in the twin flame world, because like, oh, it's my twin flame, it's my twin flame, it's my twin flame. And that person is really band-aiding that they have a love addiction. And it can be harder to take those steps if they don't think that they need help. And I've seen people with love addiction obsess for years and say, you know, this person that I dated 10 years ago, they've been married now for 8 years, but I'm still waiting because they're my twin flame. And they become obsessed and love addicted, and it makes it hard for them to move into a healthy union. And some of these people will lead twin flame groups. I know people that have, you know, tens of thousands of people following them, fans, and they run twin flame communities, but they just really haven't dealt with their love addiction. And the twin flame theory is a really great hole filler for them. Instead of stepping into their wholeness, they go down this rabbit hole of twin flame theories, and it's not grounded in the true twin flame principle of healing our own divine feminine masculine and finding a healthy bond with a real human being. So with the right support, you're not doomed. If you have love addiction, you can get the right support guidance. Love addicts can break free into self-love, break free from destructive patterns, and learn to build healthy and fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, which is what is at the foundation of the sacred union. Okay, the last symptom before I tell you about it is I just want to let you know that if you want some more sacred love in your life, you want to, instead of stew in your pain, you want to saturate yourself with sacred feminine love and sacred masculine energy, then come to the Twin Flame Sacred Love Activation. It's happening this full moon. I will put the link below, and join myself and my tribe of sea stars, powerful priestesses, high priestesses who are here to rise the divine feminine and bring in the twin flame codes. And we'll be sipping sacred cacao. I'll give you a recipe for cacao and rose, and we will be diving into our deepest divine desires, re-imprinting the DNA, and having all kinds of magic. So I hope to see you there. Click the link below, and I'll give you a coupon code before July 7th, 777 portal. All right. So obsessive thinking is the 5th sign. who hasn't been obsessively thinking about someone if they think it's their twin flame? It's such a captivating theory that you have this whole other person out there that's the other half of your soul, wholemate or soulmate, or oh my gosh, it's so exciting. But separation can cause us to become obsessed with twin flames, especially if there's early childhood trauma that has not been addressed, or if there's self-esteem issues or emotional turmoil already been going on underneath the surface. So constantly thinking about your person and hoping for them to return can often be that like hope, that medicine, that carrot. But obsessive thinking is a pattern of behavior where someone becomes fixated on a particular idea. This is like sort of the psychological definition. Obsessive thinking is a pattern of behavior where a person becomes fixated on a particular idea, such as a twin flame theory, thought or feeling, to a point where it dominates their thoughts and it interrupts their daily activities. So ask yourself, is this twin flame connection, is it actually kind of disturbing me and disrupting my life? It can be triggered by anxiety, stress, fear, or even an unrequited love bond. So that's probably a lot of people who think they have a twin flame separation sickness thing going on. They've got also this deeper issue of obsessive thinking. So when we obsessively think about someone around love, it can actually corrode even the strongest relationship, which is why it's really important to address this, because if you do have a twin flame, obsessive love will put out the flame. Obsessive love addiction, it's a psychological condition where a person becomes obsessed with their partner to the point where they lose control. They keep having these thought loops, and they may engage in behaviors such as constantly checking social media, stalking them, thinking about them, putting like them on their vision board, trying to manifest this one person, going on YouTube, how to manifest one person to love me. These behaviors can quickly deteriorate into a dangerous pattern, such as verbal, psychic, or even physical abuse. And some people call this love, but it's really love, addiction, obsession, obsessive thinking. So women who think that they've met their twin flame but are being treated badly need to understand that their partner's behavior is not a reflection of their self-worth. It's not a reflection of the divine giving you a dark flame or something that you deserve. It can be difficult to break away from the obsessive thought patterns, but it's essential that women acknowledge the harm that it's causing in their relationship, their lives, and their well-being. It's important to remember that love should never be abusive, and that true love is built on mutual respect and kindness, and one form of abuse is abandonment, both for children and as an adult. Being abandoned by a beloved is a form of abuse in that relationship. So to break away from the obsessive thinking, women need to focus on self-worth, engaging in activities that make them feel good. So come and join us on the full moon for the sacred love activation. Now this can include exercise, yoga, practicing gratitude, meditation, spending time with loved ones, getting a pet, finding that support team, circle, mastermind, and get the care that you need. So are you a twin flame in separation sickness? You may find yourself uncontrollably crying, having really horrible thoughts throughout the day on a loop. You can barely muster the energy to get out of bed maybe, but fear not. I want you to know this too shall pass as long as you do diligence to self-care, to love yourself, and to heal and transmute and alchemize the patterns that have been stuck underneath the surface for a long time. Join me today. I'll see you at the full moon ceremony, I hope. My dearest, much love. Namaste. Now let's go.